Hey everyone, I'm Ryan at Marine Parts Source, and it's time once again to take a look at one of the really cool projects we've done up in our Specialty Services Division in Port Huron, Michigan. This time we got the opportunity to work on a really cool project. We got to work on the Huron Lady. For those of you who are from that area, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the Huron Lady is a really time-honored attraction of that area around the mouth of Lake Huron. It's a tour boat that runs tours all the time up and down the St. Clair River and then into Lake Huron. And it's really famous for being able to showcase the incredible history of that area. The Huron Lady is a 73-foot excursion boat. It's got a capacity of 100 passengers. So the Huron Lady has had a great year in 2024. They've given tons of tours to a bunch of people, and it's been a really successful summer. But by the end of the season, they recognized that some upgrades were in order. The air conditioning system just wasn't working like it should be. It wasn't doing the job anymore. And so they reached out to us at Specialty Services to see if we could help them out. Now, the Huron Lady was operating 4 different air conditioning units, 2 above deck, 2 below, and they just weren't doing the job. Now, 2 of them had been previously replaced, but the workmanship just wasn't there. Our team went out to the Huron Lady to do an inspection and just really identify what this project might entail. After reviewing everything, it was our suggestion to just ditch all the existing equipment and start over from scratch, install 4 brand new air conditioning units. And we also recommended an overhaul of all of the electrical, the plumbing, and the ducting, just to make sure that the system was completely updated, new, and in great working order. But our first challenge that we had before we even got the project started was how to get all of that equipment up to the Huron Lady. We couldn't just drive it up there. This is a big project. I mean, you're talking 4 air conditioning units and all of the supporting equipment. So we loaded it all onto a riverboat and transported it that way up to the Huron Lady. Once we got there, we simply just transferred all of those parts and equipment over while we were on the water. I think the downstairs units were maybe a little bit more challenging to install than our team had originally anticipated. Even though there was more room for them down there, getting them down there was not as easy. Got to remember, these are huge units, like 100 pounds each. We're bringing 2 of them down. Carrying them down those stairs was quite a challenge, and our team had to get pretty creative to get them down there in the first place. So to get started with this upgrade, we were going to replace the 2 units in the back of the boat near the transom first. It was really interesting though, those 2 units were located beneath some bench seating. I can't imagine that was a very comfortable ride for anybody that was sitting there. We opened up those benches and wanted to pull those old units out, pulled all of that out, pulled all of the electrical out, all of the connecting components, and then we have the new units ready to put in. But we ran into a situation. The new units were too large. They wouldn't fit in this tight, compact space. So we weren't sure how to solve that problem. We decided, with some discussion and some approval from the team at the Huron Lady, to cut down the benches, and that way we could make the space to fit these units in. We wanted to then use some degreaser to clean up that whole area, and we also painted that entire area as well. And then we did the same thing for the downstairs units, and then we were ready to connect all of the electrical. Now with the electrical, we really had to replace all the old ends. We wanted to re-terminate everything, put new terminals on all those electrical wires so that they were conducting well, and it was just a good clean installation, good connections with all of our new units. In all, we added about 8 feet of new electrical wire to the entire system, but it was really necessary. And of course, now we have updated electrical that's not going to fail, that's well protected from any type of issues with the environment, with water, anything like that. And these air conditioners are going to operate really well as a result. So at this point, we also needed to find a new place for the electrical box, a new location for it, mounted that, got all of the electrical connected, make sure that electrical was ran all the way to each of the 4 units where we wanted them to be. And then it was time to actually put the air conditioners into place. So we actually set them into their different compartments, mounted them, bolted them down so they're secure, and connected all of that electrical. So now they were ready to run. Next, we wanted to overhaul the plumbing. So we had taken out all of the old water lines and we wanted to put new ones in. So new inlet lines, new outlet lines, and condensation lines as well, just to make sure that we had good clean lines. There was no corrosion, no gunk inside any of them. And also it was going to protect the units from any kind of over condensation. So we did that for all 4 units. We also wanted to update the ducting for this system, particularly the 2 units that were back at the transom of the boat. Those 2 units were connected with just some old household ducting. We definitely didn't want that, so we got all of that out of there and wanted to replace it with some proper ducting for these units. Both units have 5-inch blowers on them, so we're running 5-inch ducting. They were going to run into a new fiberglass box. Now, we wanted to make this efficient as possible. So in order to do so, we wanted a really short run from the units to that fiberglass box. What we did is we took some 5-inch Vernitube, which is like some fiberglass tubing, and we cut 5-inch holes into the transition box and basically glassed in these tubes to that box. So it's all connected the units to these tubes, and then they were all set. One of the big challenges with air conditioning on boats is that they use a lot of power when they are starting up a cycle. Once they get up and running, they don't require as much power, but that initial surge that's needed to get it up and running is quite a bit. And when you're running 4 units and they're 25,000 BTU apiece and 230 volt, that's a lot of electricity that you're requiring in order to get these things running. So what we decided to do is put micro air soft start modules on each one of the units. What that does is control the inrush current that's required to start up air conditioner in its cycle. It basically cuts the power demand in half. That's going to make it a lot easier on the generator, a lot easier on the overall electrical system. It's just going to make for a smoother transition. It's not even going to be noticeable to the passengers on the boat. So with those back 2 units where we had to cut those benches back so that we could install them, once we had that all put into place, everything was connected and operating, it was time to build those benches back. So I think it was maybe about 5 inches total that we had to add back to just completely get those benches rebuilt, made everything flush, redid all of the trim and the teak to make it look like brand new. So now the Huron Lady, she's got a completely new air conditioning system thanks to our guys at the Specialty Services Division up in Port Huron. It was such a treat to work on such a classic as the Huron Lady. Again, she's a really important member of that community, and we were just really honored to be able to help out and be involved with this project. If you're in the Michigan area, especially around Port Huron, and you're looking to do some sort of special project on your boat, you should definitely reach out to us. Give us a call, talk to our technicians, and we can talk you through all of your options and identify what's the best solution for you and help to turn your boat into the one of your dreams. And as always, if you're looking for parts and equipment for your boat, just visit marinepartsource.com. We've got thousands of boat parts, and our people there have decades of expertise to help you identify exactly what fits for your application. Thank you all so much for watching, and be sure to leave any comments you have down below. If you've got questions, reach out to us. Like and subscribe to the channel so you can see more of these projects in the future. We'll see you next time. Thanks.